Namaste and a warm welcome to all of you. It is my honor and privilege to have the opportunity to welcome this august gathering of prominent personalities from the Namaste and a warm welcome to all of you. It is my honor and privilege to have the opportunity to welcome this august gathering of prominent personalities from the healthcare sector. Today, we are all here to experience the 5th edition of the International Healthcare Awards and Conference. The 5th International Healthcare Awards and Conference 2020 is an initiative taken by CyberMedia to acknowledge, appreciate, and celebrate the success of achievers from the healthcare sector. The conference is a platform to share viewpoints of healthcare with the audience, which educates and encourages others about healthcare and gives insights into the contribution of this multidimensional sector to world GDP. CyberMedia is a leading media and market research company headquartered in Delhi. It is committed to provide meaningful insights and innovative media solutions that help businesses make impactful decisions to drive growth. The main focus is to accelerate profitable brand development for our clients and to reinvent market research through our services. It offers comprehensive services that define, develop, and implement the brand strategy by communicating the message eloquently and effectively. CyberMedia also offers a wide range of evaluations and research analysis services that are driven by international industry standards, incredible reputation with access to a large clientele and customer base. Its rankings, ratings, and accreditations provide a gradient along which performance and value of businesses is measured against global business benchmarks. Health is wealth is a popular adage, and the importance of healthcare is known to all of us since forever. It is enrooted as old as 5000 BC, and undoubtedly it touches all sections of the society. The centuries-long journey from the earliest Ayurveda to the latest ones as modern medicine system, we have understood its importance as well. In the last decade, the overwhelming response and awareness within society has made the crucial change towards healthcare as a necessity in our lives. In the Indian healthcare context, such changes collaborated with technology and have improved the quality of healthcare as a need and as a service as well. There are so many institutions and entrepreneurs who have come up with solutions to healthcare challenges in a cost-effective way compared to their counterparts in the rest of the world. Such solutions have made India as one of the most preferred destinations for medical tourism. The healthcare industry is growing on a fast clip in India, owing to its strengthening coverage, services, and increasing expenditure by public as well as private players. Research shows that plans are afoot to create 1 million skilled healthcare providers by 2022. And during 2008 to 2020, the market is expected to record a CAGR of 16.5%. The recent reports indicate the overall Indian healthcare market is worth around $100 billion and is expected to grow to about $280 billion by 2020. Healthcare delivery, which includes hospital, nursing homes, diagnostic centers, and pharmaceuticals, constitute 65% of the overall market. The healthcare information technology IT market, which is valued at $1 billion currently, is expected to grow 1.5 times by 2020. There is significant scope for enhancing healthcare services considering the healthcare spending as a percentage of gross domestic product, GDP, is rising. Rural India, which accounts for over 70% of the population, is set to emerge as a potential demand source. With the global crisis of COVID-19 pandemic growing, the healthcare sector has emerged as a beacon of light and has rushed to the aid of those affected. The genesis of this pandemic was a marketplace in Wuhan, China, and since its outbreak in late 2019, the virus has made its way for global dominance. As the virus progresses, the alert to stay indoors has become a dire necessity more than just a precaution. In such a scenario, both the government and private institutes have come together to work hand in hand. As the pandemic has expanded, healthcare officials in India have been quick to identify and treat the affected. Now we have personalities who are joining us to share their views and ideas. Our first speaker on board is Dr. Jaideep Khare.
Hi all, I am Dr. Jaideep Khare, consultant endocrinologist from Bhopal. Endocrinology is a branch of science which deals with all the hormonal disorders. And as expected, with change in lifestyle, the prevalence of several endocrine disorders have increased. Diabetes, thyroid disorders, PCOD, infertility, sexual disorders are the major contributors for it. So let's discuss about them in brief. First, diabetes. Diabetes is defined with the high blood sugars and identified if the patient is having the fasting blood sugars of more than 126, post-lunch blood sugars more than 200, HbA1c more than 6.5. Diabetes is associated with several comorbid conditions and complications if not managed properly. People, those who are more than 40 years of age, are overweight, have a strong family history of diabetes, are at more risk of getting diabetes. So these people should definitely get the investigations regularly, and if identified with abnormal profile, then they should consult with the qualified endocrinologist or the doctor or the treating physician for the proper management of this condition. Because if diagnosed early and managed properly, can lead to changes in the complications which the patient may suffer later. Second is the thyroid disorder. The prevalence of thyroid disorder ranges from 10 to 15% in general population. It can be divided into two types, the hypothyroidism and the hyperthyroidism. Hyperthyroidism is one in which the thyroid gland starts functioning more and more hormones are secreted from the gland. And hypothyroidism is one in which the thyroid gland is hypofunctioning and it is not functioning proper. So the patient requires the replacement therapies. The female patients are more prone for the thyroid dysfunctions. It is more common by 10 times in as compared to the males. So the female, those who have family history of thyroid illnesses, have menstrual irregularities, or have history of severe weight loss or weight gain in the recent past, or having the constipation, or complaining of the swelling over the neck, should get their thyroid profile done and meet the qualified endocrinologist for the proper management. Because if it is not managed properly, then again it is the same endocrine disorder which can lead to several complications later. The third, which we commonly see, is the obesity. Obesity is defined when there is excessive fat deposition in the body, and it is identified if the BMI is on the higher side. The patient can be identified as mildly obese, moderately obese, and the severely obese. The severely obese are the ones those who have BMI of more than 35 and associated with the complication, or BMI more than 40 without association with the complications. These patients actually require a treatment. If not, then obesity is associated with several complications like cardiac complications, renal complications, and the quality of life of the patient is impaired, and the patient doesn't feel good about his body and is always depressed. So if managed properly and the weight reduction is done, then the patient's quality of life is improved, and then the patient feels good, and obviously the complications are also reduced. So consulting the proper doctor, that is the qualified endocrinologist, can bring the miracle changes in the body and increase the confidence of the patient. Now the third, which is very commonly seen right now in the population, female population of reproductive age group, is the PCOD. PCOD is something which is the condition in which the patient is having hyperandrogenism. That is, excess of male hormones are there in the females, which the patient complains of facial hairs, menstrual irregularities, obesity, and the insulin resistance is one of the common pathophysiological factor in this. So if managed properly, this can lead to increase the quality of life of the female patient, may reduce the complications which the patient is going to face in the later life, and the reproductive life is also improved if the patient is managed properly. So here I wanted to say that if any patient, those who have any kind of hormonal disorders, should meet the qualified endocrinologist for the proper management and proper treatment, and they should follow the guidelines, or they should follow the advices of the doctors as prescribed by the doctors. Thank you. Stay safe. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. It's been an honor to have your enlightening thoughts shared with us. The second speaker with us is Dr. Ankuja Mhaske.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Myself, Dr. Ankuja Mhaske, cosmetologist and trichologist from Pune. I'm delighted to share some points over DHI and FUE hair transplant in this conference session of 5th International Healthcare Awards 2020 through this digital platform in line with the social distancing norms due to COVID-19 pandemic. What is hair transplant? Hair transplant is a surgical technique that removes the hair follicles from one part of the body, that is the donor area, to the balding part of the body, that is the recipient area. These hair follicles will eventually grow into new hairs. The technique is used to treat the male pattern baldness. Now, what is DHI and FUE hair transplant? DHI is a modified version of FUE. DHI stands for direct hair implantation and FUE for follicular unit extraction. The difference between the two is the way grafts are implanted into the recipient area. During an FUE hair transplant, the recipient sites are made into slits that needs to be opened prior to implantation, which then allows the surgeon to manually implant the extracted grafts. DHI, on the other hand, makes use of a specialized tool, that is the implanter pen. This allows the implantation stage to happen right after the extraction without the need to create first the canal for the grafts. The precision of the angle is of utmost importance, ranging from an acute angle of 10 to 20 degrees at frontal and more obtuse, that is 35 to 40 degrees towards the crown, that is the implanter pen. This allows the implantation stage to happen right after the extraction without the need to create first the canal for the grafts. The precision of the angle is of utmost importance, ranging from an acute angle of 10 to 20 degrees at frontal and more obtuse, that is 35 to 40 degrees towards the crown. It should never be perpendicular. Both surgeries generally take about 8 hours to complete, but the exact time can vary depending on the number of follicles that are being transplanted. It can take 12 to 18 months to see the full results of surgery. Now that we have the basic understanding of two, your next question might be, which one is right for me? DHI has better results with faster recovery, controlled depth and less bleeding, and is good for those who want to lower the hairline and fill up the temporal part. DHI and FUE both avoid a long scar that is caused by FUT. However, these surgeries generally take longer and are expensive. Now, does it work? Hair transplants are typically more successful than over-the-counter hair restoration products. It also depends on the age of the patient, the donor hair quality, the surgical skill, and also the clinic that you have chosen for your hair transplant. So, if you are interested in undergoing a DHI or FUE, then contact us at New Roots Skin and Hair Transplant Clinic, Pune. I end up this conference with my sincere thanks to Times Media to arrange this online session. Stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mhaske. Our next speaker, and please welcome him, is Dr. Shushan Sethi.
Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Shushan Sethi. I am a senior consultant gastroenterologist practicing in Bhuwaneshwar in a corporate hospital in my own clinic. So we witnessed COVID pandemic since last few months, which had taken our life into a standstill. But I must say, even during this pandemic, I have never stopped seeing patients even for one day. Because what I understand, when patients with upper GI bleed, sometimes with some foreign body, as one of my patients came with a chicken bone which was stuck in his esophagus, and he had to undergo surgery also. And if I would not have intervened, then he would have landed upon a big surgery on thoracotomy. So we had practiced whatever possible manner, including social distancing, maintaining sanitation, thermal screening procedure, but we have never stopped seeing a patient even for single day. That is one. Second, I have created many awareness venture with print and electronic media, and I had delivered talk in few televisions, and they came in many of the newspapers stating and urging the government and the people or the patients to what precautions they should take, what they should do. That means do as don'ts in the COVID pandemic. What I understand now, if we are aware, we can create awareness, we are on our tight line, then obviously the COVID pandemic will lose and will win for a day, that's for sure. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir. We have been honored to have your enlightening thoughts shared with us today. Now I would like to invite Dr. Alokanand to share his views.
मैं डॉक्टर आलोकानंद झा, MS ऑर्थोपेडिक्स मधुबनी, जो एक बिहार में छोटी सी शहर है, वहाँ मैं प्रैक्टिस कर रहा हूँ लगभग 20 और 22 साल से। मैंने इस कोविड पेंडेमिक को बहुत नज़दीक से एक्सपीरियंस किया है और मैं जस्ट अपनी कुछ एक्सपीरियंस आप लोगों के साथ शेयर करना चाह रहा हूँ। ये कोविड-19 जैसा कि आप सभी जानते हैं, अब तो साल भर की डिजीज़ होने जा रही है। ये SARS-CoV-2 के द्वारा फैलता है, जो मूलतः वुहान से ये जस्ट लोगों को पता चला था। इसकी सिम्टम फीवर होती है, ड्राई कफ है, फैटिग है, लॉस ऑफ एपेटाइट है, और जो एक कॉमन सिम्टम हम लोग यूजुअली 2-4 अपने बहुत करीबी लोगों में स्मेल और टेस्ट दोनों लॉस हो गया है, ये हम लोगों ने एक्सपीरियंस की है। कभी कभी स्किन रैशेज भी हो जाती हैं। जब ये डिजीज़ का फॉर्म लेता है तो सिम्टम जो होती है कोविड-19 डिजीज़ की, वो होती है शॉर्टनेस ऑफ ब्रेथ, कन्फ्यूजन होती है, टेम्परेचर बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाती है, कन्फ्यूजन क्रिएट हो जाती है, पेन में चेस्ट होता है, डिस्निक हो जाता है पेशेंट, और स्लीप की डिस्टर्बेंसेज होती है। 80% जो पेशेंट हमारे साथ हैं वो ऑलरेडी बिना सिम्टम के निकल जाते हैं या उनको बहुत ही माइनर सिम्टम होती है, लेकिन जो 20% होते हैं उनमें थोड़ी सी सिम्टम ज़्यादा होती है। उस 20% में जो 5% है वो क्रिटिकली इल होते हैं या जिनको बहुत ही ज़्यादा सपोर्ट की ज़रूरत पड़ती है, रेस्पिरेटरी सपोर्ट की ज़रूरत पड़ती है, वेंटिलेटर वगैरह की यूज होती है। अब उस